I'm in here today to talk about butt implants or gluteal augmentation for those who are a little bit more fancy. Just to give you some background on me, I am an avid YouTube watcher. I'm somebody who loves to just spend hours on YouTube looking at videos, and throughout my plastic surgery journey, I've actually researched a lot of different procedures that others have had, but I did notice that on YouTube, there weren't that many people actually talking about the surgery that I'm going to talk about today, which is why I'm actually making the video. I do notice that as far as butt implants go, there's very few informational videos out there. There's very few people actually talking about it who's actually had the surgery done. Now, it could be because the surgery is kind of expensive or it is kind of rare. So maybe not a lot of people have had it to be able to talk about it as much as something like breast implants go. But for me, I thought that it would be good for me to make this video to let other people out there who are interested in a surgery kind of know exactly what they're getting into if they do want to go through with it. And also anybody who's just interested in surgery whatsoever, listen to the video and maybe you'll get some information out of it. Well, to start, I did have a baby about 4 years ago, and basically when I had her, it kind of changed my body dramatically. I mean, breasts, stomach, arms, everything, and including my butt, which I thought was pretty strange, being that, you know, I've heard of people's breasts shrinking up and looking different and stomach stretching out, but I've never quite heard of somebody's butt actually going through the transformation mine did, which before I had my daughter, my body was really nice. You know, I had a nice apple bottom shape, but after I had my daughter, I kind of noticed that it went very, very, very flat. I mean, it was like as flat as a pancake. And it really just didn't look right on me. I really wasn't comfortable in my body afterwards. So that's how I kind of started this whole plastic surgery transformation from 4 years ago. So I got my breast done first, but that's like something for another video. And then after that, I went ahead and I got my butt done. I got my butt done in the area where I'm at, in the Pennsylvania area. I found a doctor kind of in the worst way I think you can find a plastic surgeon, which was I basically just went online, typed in the surgery. It was some website like Butt Implants USA or Butt USA or something like that. So I'm on the computer and I scroll down and I basically look for the cheapest plastic surgeon I can find. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, at least I'm not going to a hotel and getting something like Fix-A-Flat injected in my butt, or at least I'm not going to a hotel and getting mineral oil injected in my butt. I am going to an actual accredited plastic surgeon for this. So being that I chose to go that route, I chose to find a plastic surgeon, and I just went ahead and went to the consultation. Basically, I was at the consultation and I did get like a booklet, so to speak, of the type of gluteal implants that they could like put in. And it was really no sitting down with me and kind of going over all the options I had as far as the surgery went. It was kind of like I was just given a booklet of butt implants that you can have, and they basically just said, here, pick one. So I didn't really know much about butt implants, but what I did know is that I did see a girl on YouTube before where she had butt implants, and hers was an oval shape, and it actually flipped around to the point where she was standing up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen the video, and it looked like a candy dish was in her butt. So being that I didn't want that situation to happen to me, I chose to go ahead on with round implants instead of oval ones. And maybe that was a mistake. I kind of, looking in hindsight, maybe I should have gotten oval implants. Maybe they would have complemented my body a little bit better. But, you know, my plastic surgeon didn't really go through that many options with me. So I was kind of like just shooting in the dark, so to speak. Now, going on to the consultation, I mean, my doctor did tell me that he wasn't very experienced with this type of surgery. He has only done maybe 2 cases since maybe 2008. So he hasn't really done that many, but I was thinking to myself, you know, the other implant doctors I've seen who do this charge easily anywhere from like $8,000 to $15,000. So being that I was looking at his price, I paid a little bit over $5,000 for mine. Basically like $5,400 for mine. So I thought that that was a very good deal, and I wanted to take advantage of it. And maybe that wasn't a good choice. Maybe that wasn't the best way. But I mean, my butt didn't come out very, very bad, but it didn't come out quite the way that I wanted it to. But you live and you learn, right? So basically, I was just so excited to have this procedure that pretty much 2 weeks after the consultation, I was scheduled to have surgery. I actually had surgery in a surgery center, and the surgery maybe took about 2 hours. I was given some knockout juice and put on the table, and that was it. And I was just very much happy to have it done because my butt was so flat beforehand that it wasn't something that I was willing to live with. And quite frankly, whatever he could do, I was probably going to be a little bit happier than anything prior to the implants. So basically, I'm getting home from the surgery center, and it was painful. It was painful, of course. I couldn't walk for about 7 to 10 days after the surgery. And when I mean walk, I mean like walk in the park or just walk around. You know, I could walk around my house, you know, here and there, but for the most part, I was in the bed. I couldn't really sit down like a normal person would sit. So as far as me riding in a car, I pretty much had to ride either like putting the seat down, or like I had a wagon at that time, so we could put the seat down and I would have to lay down in the car, or I would have to like flip around kind of weird in my seat. It wasn't maybe until about 10 days after the surgery that I could actually somewhat sit down, and I even had to use a boppy pillow under my butt because it was just a really weird sensation sitting down after that surgery like a normal person would. I actually had to go through a lot of pain and anguish to try to heal from this surgery, especially being that I had a family to tend to. I didn't think that the healing process was going to actually have me that down, because I'm thinking, you know, it's in your butt, you know. I mean, your butt can take a lot of damage, can it? You know, it's not like I was having surgery in a more delicate area, but I guess I was wrong. So I actually got 440 cc's of semi-solid silicone implants from Sientra in my butt. And yes, I'm a black girl and I have butt implants. But anyway, it was something that I kind of liked the look of it at first. You know, I'm thinking that the butt was pretty high, but I had my breasts done before, and I kind of thought that just with my breast implants, they kind of fell and settled into a right place, but my butt didn't quite seem to do that. And even now, maybe like 10 months later, I noticed that it isn't really down to where a normal butt should be. It is kind of too high, and it looks a little pointy and weird. I mean, it looks good in clothes, but if I don't have any clothes on, you can see the outline of the implant. You can actually see the implant inside of my butt. It was actually put in the crack of the butt in the top, and I actually had a drain in the top, like on the very top in the middle of my butt, kind of where a tramp stamp would be. And the drain was a very agonizing thing, and I really hated having that on. The drain had to stay in for about 3 weeks. It was about 21 days of stinky fluid coming out of my butt, and I had to try to hide it under clothes and take a clothespin and pin it to my clothes, because it was a part of me now, and I couldn't take it out. You know, if I had taken it out too early, there could have been a lot of complications from the swelling. So I'm glad I actually did listen to my doctor and I didn't try to rip that thing out, even though I really, really, really wanted to. But as far as my butt implants go, the surgery, it went about 2 hours, and I came out and I was very much out of it. I was very much confused, and I could kind of feel the pain. So as far as the pain goes, this is a very painful surgery. I'm not going to say that it isn't. It's a surgery that if you're not ready for it, you can really be taken for a loop because it does hurt a lot. It's almost like my breast was nothing compared to this. Even having a C-section was not really nothing really compared to this. I can say though, 10 months out, I am kind of glad that I did go through the surgery because at least I do have this experience, even though it didn't quite come out the way that I would have wanted it to. And who knows, maybe that I'll get it done over and maybe I'll get, you know, fat transplant put into my butt to kind of make it look a little bit more natural, or maybe I will get like another implant in the future, maybe customized for my body. I don't believe that this implant was the best for me, but I mean, it kind of is a little bit better than having the flat butt that I had. I really don't know what else to say except that was kind of like a short version of my story, you know. Now, I do want to throw some things in here, some information for you people who do want to get this surgery done. First thing I will say is, again, I couldn't walk really like long distances, and I couldn't sit down for at least maybe like 10 days. So I would say if you have a very active life, please do not think that just because this is something that's in your butt, that it's not an area that really deserves a lot of time down to heal. That's kind of the mistake I made, and I almost passed out actually walking in the mall. You know, just because you think that you take your pain medicine and you feel good, if you have this surgery, I would suggest you relax, because I've almost passed out walking too much and doing too much. So please rest if you do have the surgery. If you do have the surgery, I would also suggest that you actually do go to a doctor that has a lot of experience with this type of surgery. I went to someone who didn't have that much experience, and even though I did get a very good discount, so to speak, it wasn't really what I was looking for, and I might have to go back in to get something else done to fix it. So, I mean, if it costs $10,000, I would suggest you go with that surgery. I would suggest that you go with whoever you feel is going to give you the best result, and not just look at the price or look at how close they are to you or look at how nice their office is. You really do need to get some information about how knowledgeable they are, because this is an area of the body that does have a high chance of complications, and that's probably why a lot of plastic surgeons don't do the surgery to begin with. It's a high complication rate. You can, I mean, obviously it's next to your butt, and we all know what comes out of there. So if you are thinking to have surgery anywhere near an area like that, there is a high chance of you getting an infection, which is another point. After having my butt implant surgery, I mean, I always used to keep my body clean, but after that, you have to kind of really be cognizant of the cleanliness of that area, because you do not want an infection anyway, but you really don't want an infection when you have such a big hole and drains and everything. That is like the worst, and this surgery is already painful enough. So the last thing you would probably want is to have the surgery redone, or have someone try to drain, you know, an abscess or something in that area. That would be really bad. I basically came out okay. I didn't get any infection because I was very diligent in keeping that area clean. I had actually gotten the cut in the crease, actually where the butt line is. So, and it's above the muscle. I think it's like subfascial, and I had the implants actually placed into the top above the muscle inside the butt area. So basically, even though it's not where you sit down at, you do feel it, and it is kind of painful to sit down quite, you know, soon after surgery. It's actually, the two implants are placed kind of where if you had jeans and you had like two wallets in the back of your jeans, that's basically where the implants sit. And as far as that goes, it is kind of weird. My body did have to kind of get adjusted to having that foreign body in there, more so than the breast implants that I have. And it's funny, you know, my breast implants, I've had them for like 2 years, and I don't really feel them at all. But when it comes to the butt, I still have to try to get used to having butt implants and actually being cognizant that I have them. Even just something simple as lying on your back is done. I mean, you can lie on my back. I can lie on my back now, but it really feels weird. It kind of feels like I have two permanent wallets like under me. So if you can imagine laying down on like two like rubber balls or two wallets on the top of your butt, you can kind of see how it feels. You know, it feels very, like you can feel the pressure. It's a very weird sensation. Even after working out and trying to run after having the butt surgery, I did notice a difference there. Even now, I still try to use like Stairmasters and ellipticals and bikes when I go to the gym, because me trying to just run and jog is kind of not in the cards for me anymore. I do feel like if I run like a normal person would run, working out, it feels like somebody is standing behind me and punching me in the butt kind of hard. And it kind of got a little bit better now since it's been like 10 months, but before, running was just out of the picture. Even 6 months out, running and jogging was kind of out of the picture. I still don't really like to do it, but I can run if I have to. But even still, it's a very weird sensation, and quite frankly, I don't even know if I even will be able to run long distances ever again without having this feeling like somebody is punching me directly on the butt cheeks. You know, it is the weirdest sensation. Even if I stand against the wall and I lean against the wall, I used to do that all the time without a problem, but now leaning against the wall, you know, I kind of feel the pressure from the implant, because it's a round implant. It's kind of pointy, you know, pointing towards me as opposed to the wall. So if it is me like leaning against the wall situation where I'm doing that, you kind of can feel the implant, and it's just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. But, you know, some people would say that beauty is pain, or beauty is uncomfortable. And if you really don't care about being uncomfortable and you want that look of a nice round or bigger butt, then I would say go for it, you know, but you are going to be in for a shock. It's a foreign object inside of your body, inside of an area that you would be surprised how much you actually do use it. And I actually learned how much I actually do use my butt on a daily basis. Just for simple things, even driving in a car, I can kind of feel discomfort if I'm sitting in the same position. But I will say my butt does look better than it did. You know, it was very flat and I'm not used to that. So that's kind of what prompted me to do this. And I can't really say I have too many regrets, but it's just something to get used to. Maybe in another video I can actually be a little bit more informative. This is just a video of my story as far as that goes. I try to make it as short as possible and just give people a heads up. But if people are really interested in knowing more about the surgery, and I can be a little bit more informative as to my process and the implants and what they look like and how they feel, and I can really go into detail, and I probably will in a different video, but this is just a little introductory video to get people thinking about the whole process. I would just say, if you are going to do something to your butt, I wouldn't suggest doing anything except going the route of going to an actual licensed plastic surgeon and actually getting either, you know, a Brazilian butt lifts or butt implants, or maybe a mixture of the two if that's what you like to do. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to try to go and get all these different injectables in your butt. It'll look cute. You know, it may be cute for the short term, but in the long term, it really just isn't worth it. Looking cute is not worth your health. How cute can you be when you're dead, you know? So this is the end of this first video, and I will try to get some more information as far as the actual implants and try to be more informative in my next video. And if anybody has any questions, they can leave it below for me, and then maybe I can try to answer them head on and make a more informative video the next time. But that's it for now. Bye.